Okay, great.
All
Yeah,
right. Sorry to be that guy.
no worries.
Um, are there variations in the algorithms in terms of their actual performance?
Yeah, of course. Yes. So we have different strategies, different risk tolerance for each individual. So we have nine total strategies, right? And so some of them are more conservative, some of them are medium risk, and then some of them are, kind of a little bit more aggressive in their approaches. And so when you do have your one-on-one call with your onboarding specialist, you're going to go through each of the different strategies, their historical performance, what is the profiles of each of them, and then make a determination of how you want your portfolio to be allocated.
How are they distributed among the different levels? Like, is there an attempt to sort of balance each level or?
Yeah, of course. We want to give all of our clients a premier experience. So, I mean, if you've ever flown business class, it's a premier experience, but, first class has a level above. And then, of course, flying private has its benefits as well. So, each of our clients have the opportunity to see the types of growth, again, that's outsized comparatively.
And the range of performance that you list, I'm not sure I understand what that indicates. Is it saying that that's the total range it's been, or that's the average range? Like,
Yeah,
what
it's
does it mean,
historical.
60 to 120%?
Yeah, historical averages year over year.
So it's been as low as 60 and as high as 120? Is that what
That's
you're
correct.
saying?
Yes, that's correct.
What's the actual average?
The actual average, well, which algorithm or sorry, which package are you discussing?
Uh, in each one, I guess. I just kind of usually the average indicates, what you could over the next 10 years, what could we really realistically expect in term if we were to assume that there was past performance
It
was
just depends.
indicative.
There's a lot of different variances, right? So if we have nine different algorithms, are you getting access to all nine of them? Right? What is your investment style? Is it compounding or is it taking out returns monthly or weekly, whenever? So it depends. Each portfolio is a little bit different. And so we just have those ranges historically based off of how each of those algorithms performs in those buckets. And so that's how we determine the averages for each of those packages.
Okay. So you can't just say like platinum averaged 85% return or something like that. It's gonna
No, it's a little bit more nuanced. We don't want to just make stuff up. So we don't,
no.
it's a
But
little
if
bit.
you were to take everybody who's running platinum, for example, and just look at what their returns were over the last, 5 years, whatever, can you, that's not
So we have to rely on you in order for you to be able to tell us like exactly what your returns are. So we would have to do that with 987 clients. It doesn't work exactly like that. So it's everybody's allocation is different. You could have 10% allocated in one of the strategies and another person has 50% allocated and that will adjust your returns. And so it's just not something that we are going to take the time to calculate that way because everybody's experience is different. And so we do have the master strategies overall, like here's each strategy and this is the performance, but we don't have like everybody's portfolio makeup and to be able to determine everybody's results in that way.
okay. I don't want to hog the time, but it seems like if you're calculating your share of the shared amount, then you would necessarily have to know all that, wouldn't you?
I'm sorry. So each strategy has a group of individuals in it. Not all of our clients are in each of the strategies. And so in order to be able to get the fees, that's automatically done by the brokerage accounts. So that's not something that we calculate, that is
Okay,
automatically calculated for the traders and for our clients. So that's
I
going to
see.
be your brokerage.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
100%. Great questions. Love it. All right, we've got James, then we've got Chris, and then we'll go to. Don't worry about raising your hands, guys. You're gonna get, the opportunity. You guys are when you raise your hands, you guys are kind of messing up how I'm flowing. So we'll go with really quick. We'll go with James, and then Chris, and then we can go to Zach.
Good afternoon. I'm James from Fort Wayne,
All right.
and I have been working with to make a decision whether I was going to enroll or not with one of your introduction folks, and he's been very helpful to me. This morning, I asked him this question: What are my monthly ongoing fees, and how are they calculated? And he said, no ongoing fees, only the initial membership fee with ATN, which is paid one time. There will always be a profit split with the traders, and the gold membership is not what's listed um on your thing you had up. So he said it was 80-20 for gold.
So there's some
Is that
people that,
accurate or a mistake?
yeah, so there's some people that have the opportunity to have 80-20 splits. It kind of depends on the conversation that you guys have. We have the ability to do that, but it is not for everybody. It's not a kind of a blanket thing for everyone. And so it's normally 50-50 profit split.
Okay. But I can count on this being this is I wasn't going to say what it was, but then
Yeah.
I didn't know how not to say that.
Yeah, sure. When your representative gives you kind of a special kind of thing, then I have given them the lenient
Okay,
to be able to do that. So that is
that's
accurate.
great. And then one other question, and I'll be done.
Sure.
What's the minimum investment as
Yes.
far as what to put in to actually do the trading?
So
And
the
what is
minimum is,
recommended? What's the minimum?
yeah, exactly. So the minimum is actually $1,000. The recommended is 10,000. That's the minimum recommended. But the
Okay,
actual minimum like that's required is 1,000.
thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, we've got Chris, and then we'll go to Zach. The order keeps getting messed up, but Chris, we'll go to Zach, and then we'll go to Olu Watson.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I just have a couple quick ones. Kind of going off of what James was just talking about. Are there fees or transaction costs per trade that we would see in our account at some point?
Yes, there will be, but it's fairly nominal. You won't notice it as much. They're called swap fees and lot fees and things like that, but it's pretty nominal.
Okay.
It's like 0.01%, 0.05%, kind of those type of ranges.
So your profit projections are taking into account those fees. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. And then kind of being new to the whole FX world, are there any situations where we are potentially risking or could lose more than we have in the brokerage account?
Well, no, the answer simply is no, but when you do get your brokerage account access, they will say you have the chance to do it. They have to say it. I guess I have to say it, but we're not over leveraging to the point where you have the ability to like lose more. It's not possible. So, yeah.
Okay. So no margin calls or anything like that.
Well,
Okay.
there
Awesome.
could be margin calls. However, there's not like you're not gonna owe more than what you put into it. You could
Okay.
get you could hit the margin, but it's not going to be more than what you put in.
Okay. So we're only risking what we have in the brokerage account.
That's correct.
Okay. And then lastly, on the brokerage accounts, I thought I saw in one of your videos you guys are heading towards the ability to have a US brokerage account. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we do have one of our trading teams. They do use TradeStation. That is more for our diamond clients that are coming in with more capital. But we do have TradeStation as another brokerage that we have been able to use.
Okay. Can you talk about the other brokerages that you use that are not based in the US and sort of calm any concerns that someone would have on those?
Yeah, sure. So we use several. We use Ox Securities, they're based out of Australia. We use GNT, they're in the European Union, and then we also use Access Prime. They're also in the European Union. So, I mean, just understanding that the United States likes to limit your ability to make real returns, and so other countries don't. And so that's been our benefit to be able to be as profitable as we are using other jurisdictions to be able to drive these trades.
Okay, awesome. And just one last one real quick. You mentioned your journey and getting the access to sort of this opportunity. Can you talk a little bit more about what that really means to us? I mean, are we really getting access to different trades than other groups are getting or other people would get? Just maybe someone coming off the street getting into this industry?
Well, the answer would be simply absolutely. And the reason is because anyone can go out to any website and purchase an algorithm, and then they have to operate that algorithm themselves. Algorithms can cost anywhere from like $1,000 to $10,000. Whereas you guys are getting anywhere from 3, 5, or 8+ algorithms. But more importantly, is we're not just handing you the keys to a new Ferrari and you're 5 years old and don't have any like semblance of an understanding of how to operate a vehicle. You are, being able to access and leverage private traders that have been profitable for years and years on end, to be able to operate this on your behalf. So you don't have to worry about having a second job. You don't have to worry about staring at the screen your whole day so that you don't miss a signal, you don't miss an exit, because anytime you miss it, that could be the difference between being profitable for the day or having a loss. And that's something that we like to mitigate for our clients.
Okay, I got that. And I get the access to the knowledge and everything else. But in terms of the access to the actual market or markets, there's no difference there, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, foreign exchange. Yeah,
Got it.
this is a $6 billion, $6 billion is traded every single day in foreign exchange. And so, I can't gatekeep the access to the market. That's
Yeah.
impossible. But
Okay, gotcha.
traders,
Thanks. Appreciate the time.
yeah, 100%. Love it. All right. So we've got Zach.
Hello,
Uh,
you hear me? Hey,
how are you? Doing well.
good, good. How are you? Sorry, I'm here at work, so I got a quick minute. But I'm I talked to a rep yesterday. I was definitely intrigued, but obviously with this type of business, you get a lot of healthy skepticism. Um, so my question is, my parents do a lot of like stocks or whatever, but at the end of the year, when it comes to when it comes to the whole tax situation, they do try to keep long-term tax investments rather than short-term day trades, just because at the end of the year, it's gonna get you crazy, all crazy, right? What is do any of your algorithms like keep that in mind, like about kind of like some type of like tax havens or type of way to make sure that we don't have to pay an obsessed amount of income tax at the end of the year if all goes well?
Yeah, great question. So I'm not a tax professional, I have to say that.
Mhm,
Um, a lot of people, a lot of our clients, they do use our tax professionals, which is mainly focused on when you deposited and when you withdrew. And that's going to give you the ability to have long-term capital gains as long as you held, the money in there for more than 12 months in a day, right?
mhm.
You are going to be kind of in and out, taking profits and kind of moving money around, then of course you're going to be more subject to the short-term capital gains. So there are strategies that we do employ to help our clients to be on the long-term stage and
Mhm.
short-term.
Yeah, so like let's just say I put in 50K, right? And I say this is my investment. I got a 10K for the package and 40K to invest, right? And I don't want to touch it, but one of the algorithm strategies, are they doing like daily trades or weekly trades? And because of that, would those weekly trades fall under the short-term capital gains?
Yeah, again, it does
Like
depend on your tax professional, because people interpret things a little bit
that's
differently.
fair.
And so, yeah, that's more of what it is. Yes, to answer your question directly in terms of how frequently trades happen,
Hmm.
it's intraday, so it's multiple times throughout the day. Uh,
Hmm.
so yes, you are open to the possibility of short term, but it just depends on
Okay.
and how they're calculating it.
Okay. Another one is I'm intrigued that you guys have 8 or 9 different algorithms, but I'm a little curious about how you were able to how you're able to formulate the algorithms. Like, where are these algorithms? Like, what are the principles of it and based off of? Is it from experienced traders? Is it like option swing trading style, or is it like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it?
Yeah, yeah, great question. So none of
Mhm,
them are option trading style.
mhm,
They're
mhm,
day trading, swing trading, or high frequency trading. Most of them are going to be high frequency trading. So there's going to be like literally anywhere from 10 to 100 trades a day. and
Mhm.
that's how we're able to be.
Mm.
So with our 4 trading teams, each of them operate at least 2 of our algorithms, and they're the ones who they've got data analysts, they've got quants, they've got developers, they have trading like strategic traders. They have their teams of anywhere from 4 to 10 other individuals that help them as the head trader, help them to like kind of make data-driven decisions and put data into their algorithms in order to create the parameters that ultimately allow for us to be as profitable as possible. So each trading team has several individuals. They're the ones who develop those algorithms.
Mhm.
They tweak, they iterate accordingly.
Okay, so the algorithm. So let's just say there's 8 different algorithms. So each different algorithm is gonna pull a part of your 1,000 clients, right? Let's say 200,000 clients want to pull into algorithm number one. That algorithm number one is going to the experienced trader and saying, okay, we have $200 million in this algorithm, and they're going to be in charge of kind of facilitating, making sure the algorithm is running correctly and kind of the human in the loop oversight of the automation,
That's correct.
right? Okay, cool. I had one more thing. Okay, this one just to ease a lot of minds for me at least is I through your testimonials and through a lot of the research I've done with ATN, everyone shows, all companies show the best of the best, right? Like the gold standard of what your company can do.
Sure.
But I think for me and the couple investors that I have that would make me their PAM in a sense, their question is, okay, that's great of what has happened, but we want to know more of the worst case scenarios that have happened for your team. Like what are the things that we should be aware of that has happened that are, I guess, mistakes or like with clients, and how do you ensure that that doesn't happen with us with
Yeah.
new clients, right?
Great question. So we've had to adapt over time. We've been very fortunate year over year to be profitable, but a couple of years ago we had a 30% loss, which we've had a couple of 30% losses on different strategies at different times. And so what we did on the first one, that when that first happened, we only had like 3 algorithms. So that loss was a little bit more painful because people were diversified in those 3 algorithms, but that 30% loss, some people experienced a 15%, an 18%, depending on their
Hmm.
diversification. So once we had that issue, we realized like we need to have more different teams and more algorithms in order to soften any blows that do happen. And so fortunately, we were able to, kind of several months later, we're able to see another, it was like a 27% dip on one of the other strategies. And because of the overall diversification we have from our clients, that represented a 6% loss on our overall P&L. And so
Hmm.
that's the reason why we focus on diversification and understand how important it is. And so that's something for us we really hold near and dear. So that's something for you to understand. The more diversified, the more spread out you are, the more you're able to mitigate.
De-risk
Exactly.
essentially. And so um going into so that you have 4 packages, right? You have the gold, platinum, diamond, and then there's like a silver one or something like that, right? Like
Silver is
yeah,
not
not
necessarily
even on day.
to the public. Yeah.
Yeah. So with those packages, right? I remember the rep saying you can come in, you pay that lifetime membership, and you can kind of like go up and down depending on the split that you like, or if you want access to a little more algorithms. Let's just say the first one, what are the algorithms? Are they already set in type of like
Yeah.
conservativeness? Or, you know what I mean? Like, let's just say you go into gold package, you only have one algorithm. Is it automatically going to be like you have to go conservative if you don't want to go gold?
Yeah,
Do
so
you know what I
silver
mean?
silver is the one with the one, but
Mm-hmm.
gold is going to be with 3 algorithms. So
Mm-mm.
you are going to have the ability, like there's you for gold, you're limited to be able to choose 3, and you have like 5 that you can choose from. For diamond,
Mm.
you're limited to 5. You have 7 you can choose from.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, exactly. So
I see. So that's how diversified you can go per the algorithm, but you give the option of going like high risk, high reward, volatility, or super conservative everything. Okay,
Great
cool,
question.
cool.
Love
Well,
it.
I I like it. I just want to let you know I like it. I like your energy about it, and I really respect the grind, the hustle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. So let's go with Olu. I'll just say Olu. I think that's probably maybe how you say your first part of your name, and then Maika, and then Yasmin.
Hi, this is Oluwatosin from New Jersey.
Hello.
I'm happy to be here. So I have a similar question to what Zach just asked you right now, but it's a little bit closer to that question because I believe there is no amount of business that doesn't have up and down in it. So how do you what are the challenges or the problem that the company or the business is having right now, and what are the plans that you guys have to to resolve, or what are um the strategy or what you have to resolve that problem?
Great question. So the biggest challenge that we had is diversification. And so again, we started with just one trading team, just one algorithm. That one trading team was able to eventually get to 3 algorithms, but we still needed to diversify to more teams and more kind of strategies. And so that's what we set out to do about 18 months ago. We've been very successful in being able to do it. And so we're still in the process of continuing to add other trading teams. And so that's one of the things that we feel like not only has been an area of opportunity, but now it represents an area of strength, and we just want to double down on it.
Okay. So my another question, I think someone asked that question too regarding the platinum, the silver, whatever group, I don't know what you guys call it. And you said depends on the um what the person that talked to you, it depends on what he gave you. The the share part is 50-50, but it depends on the conversation or the plan that you have with whoever that have it with you. So I won't go back to that because I believe you have answered that question. I will just talk about it with the guy that spoke with me yesterday. So
Mhm.
I'll leave that one for that.
Okay.
Then another thing that I want you to expatiate, it's about that traveling that you say something like first class traveling. I don't really get that. So I don't know, maybe you can a little
Yeah.
bit, talk more about it so that I can understand. Because I don't know how you get to, like, oh, if you want to travel, you can go with first class, you can go, I don't know what
Yeah.
really
It's
get
just
us down to that.
Yeah, it's just an analogy. So you can scratch that from your memory. It's just we have our economy level, we have our premium, and then our premier option. So that's kind of basically how you would describe that.
Oh, okay. So technically you related those words to this business. It's not that you are going out to go with first class or whatever, or
Yeah,
traveling. You
exactly.
just related it to the business.
Exactly. So the
Okay.
let's say the destination is financial freedom, and the plane represents the vehicle that we have, the strategy.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. Great questions. Love it. All right. So we've got I think Maika, and then we've got Yasmin, and then we've got iPhone 4.
Aaron, how you doing?
Good, good. How do I pronounce your first name, by the way? I'm curious.
Micah.
Micah. I love
Yeah.
it. Perfect. All right. Micah, what do we got?
So the question I had was, is there any way that you can upgrade later on?
Simply, yes.
Okay. And adding money after you started.
Yeah,
So you start.
definitely. Some people start with, like, I don't remember who asked the question, but what's the required minimum, what's the recommended minimum. Yeah, you can start at whatever level you're most comfortable with, get the proof of concept that you're looking for. I mean, that's what I did. I didn't start with everything that I could have put into my accounts. And then you test for, some people test for weeks, some people test for months, and then make a decision as far as how you want to allocate, going forward.
Okay, thank you. I'm in. We'll have to talk later about how you increase your clients.
Sure, 100%.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely. All right. So we've got Yasmin, we've got iPhone 4, and then once we're finished with questions, I do have a special bonus for you. So I know this is riveting, and a lot of your questions are questions you didn't think that you had are being answered as well. But we do have a special bonus for those of you that stay to the end. So we'll go with Yasmin and go to iPhone 4 next.
Fantastic. Hi, Aaron. Thanks so much for the information. It's been really helpful. One of the things that I was curious about is that in the traditional sense, in working with financial planners and wealth managers, they're usually targeting perhaps like an 8% return. They're excited if they get maybe 12. I know some of the S&P, right now this is in traditional, of course, stocks, right? There's oversights like CFTC or NFAs, or there's certain things like that. Is there an oversight or a barometer that these traders needed to achieve to get the qualifications or training to do what they do? Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So everybody has, every brokerage has their jurisdiction that they abide by, whether in the United States, CFTC, SEC, those type of places. In Australia, it's ASIC, and in the European countries, it's the EU. So everybody has those different factors. So all of our traders are qualified in the jurisdictions that they need to be. The trading team that we have in the US. They are, regulated by CFTC, and the NFA, the National Futures Association, those type of things. So everybody has their proper credentials to be able to provide the service that we do.
Excellent. So what I hear you say is, if you had mentioned there's in Australia and a couple of European platforms that they're trading on. So in those jurisdictions, they are qualified.
Yeah.
They might not, so those guys would not be doing an American strategy.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
correct.
American guy would do the American strategy and would have our certifications or whatever you call qualifications,
Exactly.
correct?
That's 100% correct.
Okay. And then on top of that, where do most people tend to start at when they come in? Which membership level have you found most people go?
Most of our clients actually come in at platinum.
Most of them come at platinum. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And have you found that there's a certain amount of at the platinum level that they use to put into trade? Because there's, the membership fee, right? So you have that calculator or that amount, and then the amount you trade. What's
Yeah.
the typical amount at platinum level that you
Yeah.
would
So
put it?
the average overall is $100,000, and so they would be kind of right in that lane. And it's like 50K kind of average for gold, 100K average for platinum, 200K average for diamond. But of course, that means that there's people that come in at 50K at platinum and 200K at platinum. Right? There's people that come in at 100K at diamond and 500K at diamond. So there's a range for sure, but the actual average. It's a lot easier, Stephen, to show the average of what people are initially depositing than to be able to keep up with, almost 1,000 different portfolios that are, allocated in different ways. So 100,000, give or take, is the average that people put into platinum.
Fantastic. And then I noticed in some of the due diligence information, there was a website that does take you to some other business support. You were saying earlier about the accounting team and some other team. What is that in relationship to? Is this different business model, or is this the business that supports people who invest? I wasn't clear.
That's great. It's the latter. It's the business that supports the people that invest. So primarily what we do is we help people get access to algorithms that work. right? And trading teams that can work those algorithms on your behalf. But the ancillary services, the kind of support services that we provide as well are going to be tax like my personal tax professional, my personal estate planner, my personal wealth manager, kind of those different resources for those that don't have those professionals, or maybe honestly they don't like them, or they feel like their accountant is just a, you know, a tax filer and they're not a tax strategist, and they can't really help them to navigate certain complex scenarios or questions or things like that. That's when we have those support those professionals to be able to help to your support your goals.
And I imagine that is not included in the packages. That's something that you would pay a la carte as needed.
It is, the consultation is included in the package. So each of them kind of have that initial consultation fee, can be anywhere from 300 to 500 plus dollars for that consultation. That is waived when you do become a member. But any like actual tax prep services or any estate planning services or exit planning strat, you know, whatever you need, then you'll have to pay the actual cost for those things. But the initial consultation is no additional cost based on your affiliation with ATN.
Gotcha. And so it'd be, so when you say like estate planning, so like trusts or LLCs or S corps, or I don't know, all of the, above. Okay.
Got it.
And these are vetted, obviously they're vetted. Is it part of a big company, or are these specific individual business owners with expertise that you've cultivated?
The latter, exactly that. It's just people that I've met on the journey as I started to get more wealth and have to make these determinations of where do I put capital, what's the best tax strategies, how do I make this work for me. Everything basically like comes from like me solving my own problem, and then knowing that there was so many other people on my early on my journey that were looking for the same kind of results, same lifestyle changes. And then, of course, you know, up until now, where there's so many individuals that we've been able to help with these same problems.
I mean, it's so on point with what I'm definitely looking for. And because it's so on point, I know I was talking with with my rep, and we were debating on when this could be rolled out. But let's say I have a friend who would like to do this as well, or I'm a connector. So it
Mhm.
sounds like you are as well. You find and cultivate resources.
Yeah.
Are there affiliate fees associated, or down the road a possibility of
Yeah.
affiliate fees for this program,
Yeah.
um, to be able to monetize that as well?
Yes, we do have that. It's not like corporate yet, as far as like people building businesses around this. However, it's a referral program for now, but a lot of our clients have actually started to ask that question. And so we'll probably, like you mentioned, kind of in the near future, have it be more like corporate and maybe give you some resources and provide some things for you. But that being said, for now, it's just a referral program. You get 5%. You get 5% if it's going to be cash. So if it's going to be like, if we're going to send you cash, then it'll be 5% of whatever package price that they purchased. So for example, if somebody did platinum, 5% of that would be 1750 or something like that. Whereas if they did, if you wanted a credit, then if your friend did platinum, then you would get 10%. So let's say that would be $3,500. And what that credit gives you the ability to do, let's say you're at platinum, you know, you can use that credit towards you being able to upgrade to diamond, or get access to our a la carte algorithms, or get, you know, the ability for us to actually pay for your first, you know, tax filing session or what have you. So it's a credit towards, you know, some of the things that we help to provide, you know, in other places.
So what I'm hearing you say could also apply to some of the professional experts that you have affiliated.
That is correct.
Got it. Cool. Thank you, Aaron. Really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Great questions. All right, last one. We've got iPhone 4, and then we'll get to the bonuses.
Hey, sorry about that. I just filled out my name or I forgot to fill out my name because I was kind of rushing to get here. But my name is Ignacio. I'm very curious about the program for sure. My main, I guess you could say, concern or just overall question is the level of the traders. Is it dependent on the tier that you get? Are new traders assigned to gold and the lower tier packages? versus the higher echelon packages, you know, higher win percentages, higher trading percentage, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, each of our traders have a minimum of 7 years of experience. You know, and our
Gotcha.
most tenured trader has 30 years of experience. He started in 1999, 26 years of experience. So it depends, right? But overall, we're committed to like seeing you be successful. Your success is our success. You know, and the traders are very motivated because they get paid when they produce profits, right? The profit
Right.
go to those traders. So everybody's highly motivated. We're not going to stick you with people that are lesser than. You know,
Hmm.
start with gold.
Gotcha. And then just to add on to that, how much would you say is the wait period before, you know, your check-ins with whoever your rep is or the one somebody handling your account? How often do you think is like a steady but also healthy amount of meeting between you and the person, you know, handling your account? Like 3 months, 6 months, you know,
Yeah.
once a month? Like, what do you say the meetup
Once
rate should be?
once a month is probably like a good baseline. Once every quarter is kind of maybe a little maybe too infrequent, unless you're like a complete passive investor.
I
So
mean, yeah, if it's doing its thing, I would just just let it run. But of course, you know, be up to date with what's going on, especially
exactly,
on the down months,
exactly.
just
We
you know,
do it.
communicate.
I'm biased, but I feel like our success team does a pretty good job of doing the check-ins with you. So even if it goes 2 or 3 months, you'll probably get a call from my sister Elizabeth to check in and say, "Hey, how's it going? What's your experience? You know, what kind of questions do you have? How much support, do you need some support? What have
Right,
you?"
right, right.
Those type of check-in calls do happen once a month anyway. But for you to reach out, the communication is pretty open and fluid in the way of like
Mhm.
you're getting access to a Slack channel to where like you
Yeah,
have you know, quick instant message conversations as opposed to waiting for an email. You send an email and it doesn't get read until the next day, and then we got
exactly. Yeah.
that type of stuff. So our response times are really good, and so having that communication will help you determine how often do I actually need to get on a call and need to go through everything again.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much for the information.
100%. Love it.
Yeah,
All right.
one more quick question if I can.
Sure.
Okay, real quick. Um, is there any sort of like in regular investing, you have opportunities to set a jump out spot? You know, if you're investing in Nvidia and it gets to
Sure.
153, you say I've had enough. I'm gonna jump ship.
Yeah.
Do we have? I mean, we don't personally, but do you guys incorporate some sort of jump out? Because I don't understand how you can have a negative 30% month.
Yeah. Great.
How does something like that occur?
Yeah, great question. So they're called, so on the trade level, it's called a stop loss. And on the
Right.
account level, it's called an equity protector. So each trade has a stop loss, depends of anywhere from 1% to 5%. Just depends on how aggressive or what a lot of different factors.
Okay.
And so that's at the trade level. On the account level, so the more conservative accounts have a 10% equity protector, meaning if it hits 10%, like if it goes down 10%, stops out. That's conservative. 30% equity protector is kind of more the medium risk, you know, kind of areas for our strategies, which means if it got to 30% loss, and this is just one strategy. So remember, if you're a diamond and you have 8 strategies,
Sure.
you know, this is really mitigated. But so then you have the equity protector of 30% at that range. And then some of them that do higher numbers, you know, we had our gold algorithm, you know, it's currently year to date at about 83%. And so that one doesn't have an equity protector because it does have some dips. We've seen this year to where we were it was a 25% drawdown, but then it shot up to 19% of a gain in June. So those types of things like do happen. And so for the more aggressive or higher risk strategies, those ones don't have an equity protector, but the other ones have either 30% or 10%. And so you have the opportunity to choose your portfolio based off of that or any other factors that you want to have in your decision making tree.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking that extra question.
100%. Love it. Love it. I do have Julio here, who is the co-founder, and so he'll be able to answer any of the follow-up questions that you do have. But for now, does anyone have any additional questions before we hop off? Nope. Love it. All
All
right.
good. Thank you, man.
100%. I appreciate everybody's time. Just go ahead and use that link again in order to, in order to secure your bonuses. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay on after if you're having any trouble with that link, or if you have any additional questions, perhaps for Julio, to be able to answer. Everybody, enjoy your day.
How's it going, everybody? Sure, all your answers, if not most of your answers were answered, or your questions were answered. But if anybody's having issues with the link, any further questions regarding that, I'll be here till then.
Sorry, I didn't really quite understand the whole $500 for a $10,000 security for this link. Can you kind of re-explain what the value of why we should be putting out $500 again today?
For sure, and this is, and I believe Aaron just went over that, but it's basically it does one or two things. One, it guarantees a spot for you to speak with Aaron directly. Sometimes in this setting, since there's other people, there may be some questions that are, either personal or you don't want other people to hear. So that allows you for a time for a one-on-one call on Zoom with Aaron and to have your questions answered by him directly. That's one thing. The second thing that it works for is for the bonuses that were mentioned on this call regarding if you're going to get the platinum package, you get some additional bonuses there. If you're going to get the diamond as well, and that $500 will work for. It is fully refundable though.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate the kind of summary roundup.
For sure. James, I see you're still in here. You have any questions or any difficulty with the link?
No, everything's been very well presented. I've been working with Jared.
Oh, nice.
And I'm very pleased with him. He's been very good getting back to me and everything, and I do believe that we will be moving forward with Jared.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll let him know.
Okay.
Once you move forward,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Jasmine, that's that's my aunt's name. How's it going?
All right, great name. Something actually that just came up as a question that I wanted to get further clarification on is that Aaron was talking about once a month, talking perhaps with the your success team, or versus a quarter. When you're working with your success team, are they helping you sort of make tweaks to your portfolio? Or are there people guiding you like with a traditional financial planner? They are, obviously I know it's not that, but they are working with you to figure out what things to invest in. If you go, for example, one of the higher end ones that has 5 or 9 strategies in them, do they kind of coach you through which strategies would be best based on your goals and your risk tolerance? How does that work?
Exactly, based on your goals and risk tolerance, but we're very transparent with those strategies, right? So there's like different avatars of clients that are looking to recoup their initial investment as fast as possible, right? There's other ones that are really looking at this as a long-term play. So they want to be set up from the start on which will be both most profitable, but also more risk mitigating, right?
Gotcha.
So depending on just how you set your risk tolerance, we'll be able to help you with that. But as far as like the success team, we do a good job on that on the onboarding part. But moving forward after that, we do check-ins as well. But as you can imagine, all of this is hands off, right? So there's not really much for the client to do, but it's really good to understand what's going on in the market and your account specifically. So that's what we're there for as well. You can always request a Zoom call. We can do it through the Slack channel we already have as well. There's different forms in which we can stay in touch and help you with that.
Okay, great. And how long is the average client stay on board with ATN?
For as long as they can,
Right, because it's that good. It just keeps, it's the
Well,
goose that keeps laying the golden eggs.
it's not just that, but you pay for it once and it's paid for. right?
Okay.
Like there's no like monthly fee for it. There's no annual subscription, right? It's you have it forever, right? So if it's working for you, why not?
And if you want multiple, like if you want to set one up where you're just letting it compound, 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 but maybe you want another account that you could draw for cash flow, would that be two separate memberships?
That would be two separate, although I do know they give you a credit for the second one. So maybe, it's like pay for one, get the other one half. But if that's like the reason why you want that, I wouldn't suggest doing that.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
like, just use that capital you were going to pay us to actually make more,
Right.
right?
Got it. Okay. I wasn't sure in that regard. That does make sense. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Julio, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is
And
Chris.
then James, I got you right after I saw you raise your hand.
Okay, that's fine.
So, and this kind of goes off the last question a little bit, but each membership is tied into one brokerage account. Is that correct? Meaning, if I wanted to invest funds that were both, let's say, cash that I have currently, and then maybe something from an LLC or something from like a self-directed 401k or something like that, would each of those require a different brokerage account? And then would that be a different membership?
Yes, they do require different brokerage accounts, and yes, it does require different membership. Will fall under the same pay for one, half for the second one.
Okay.
Uh, with that being said, though, it's not tied to a particular brokerage, right? We have a preferred brokerage account. We do have connections with other brokerages as well. And then in some rare cases, maybe the client has really well experience with this and they want to use their own brokerage. Only one time that happened, but I want to mention it as well. So you're not really tied to that particular broker, right?
Got it.
Yeah. Does that answer your question? Or?
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. James?
Yeah, am I on now?
Yes.
Okay. So not to dwell on, and you probably didn't hear this when I asked Aaron it, but I'm still real confused about how you can have a 30 a minus 30 month. So if the individual day, let's say I'm invested in something that has a 5% stop loss.
Mhm.
Well, that would mean that either I had either I had 5% days in a row to get to 30, or I had, 3 of those and very little upside during that entire month. I find it hard to believe that unless something horrible occurred, like we went to war or something. But
Mhm.
again, in Forex, there shouldn't be these huge differences in days. Is that
Yeah.
am I anywhere close to accurate here?
Well, let me kind of like go through that again. Are you saying like you
Okay.
can't have a 30% loss in a day or loss in a month? And if so,
No,
how
I understand how you could in a month, but he was saying that, in some cases you have a stop loss set per day at 5%.
yeah, so
So,
I'll dive into that a little bit because two things
okay,
are different. There's stop loss and then there's equity protection, right?
exactly.
It's kind of the same thing, but it's different. On the stop loss, it will be per trade. Right? So if you were to lose, let's say 5% on that one particular trade, and then again on the next trade, and the next trade, and the next trade, and the next trade, that kind of totals up to the loss
Okay,
amount.
well that's not what Aaron said. He didn't say per trade. He said per day. So
Well,
that's a major difference. Yeah.
yeah, so it's more per trade, right? But then there's the equity protector. So the equity protector will be if it's set up, for example, a 10%, or let's just say 30% in your example,
Right.
if it goes, the open trades are in the losing position for 30% of the whole account, then it would just close out and protect the rest of the 70% so you can fight another day. Right? That's basically how that works. We don't have much like losses in the day, if that makes sense, or losses per trade, if that makes sense. Because one of the things that all of these algorithms do, and one will be different than the other, is because they're all uncorrelated. even though some of them may trade the same pairs, like for example, US dollar to the euro or the Australian dollar to the Canadian dollar, for some examples, they're not all going to take the same exact trade within those pairs, right?
Okay.
So even if you have like a big loss on one particular PAM account and you're diversified as we suggest, that's a small
Oh,
loss
sure.
overall, right?
Yeah.
Where also like the gains from the other PAM accounts could either cancel that out or be higher so that you're still in the green for that day or month.
Well, I saw in the gold account, I
Mhm,
saw the results for the past several years. There
mhm.
was no month that was 30 down, 30 down or anywhere close to that. So he must have been talking to me earlier today on day on the actual trade rather than month.
Well, the gold, although it's a high risk account, and we're gonna tell you that like on the onboarding, it's been working pretty well. They haven't had like a losing month, but it doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen in the future, right? Like
Yeah, but
it's not impossible for that to happen. So even if there's like a loss within a day or a week's period, if it gets made up on the next week, right, you're still
sure.
within the month. So none of that will show
Yeah,
on that effects
yeah.
book as far as like a loss for that month.
Is it your personal opinion that you probably have mitigated any 30% monthly losses?
Yeah, well, there was one account a year ago that it hit the 30%, right? And that was the equity protector. So it's around the election period, right?
Okay.
Around the election period, it's like all these volatile movements. Luckily, right, the clients were diversified. So that equity protector that I hit for that 30%, that was made in August and September. There's this one particular account we have called the Alpha and another one the Gamma, and you learn all of those when you get onboarded. But both of those accounts made over 10% for August and September. Alpha specifically did 14 for both of those periods. So, that loss from the equity protector was made up by the other accounts. That's why it's like highly advisable to not be in one particular strategy. It's
Oh,
basically
sure.
having all your eggs
Absolutely.
in one basket. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Julio, could you review what those strategies are? There's gold, there's Forex. Is it within Forex? There's multiple strategies. Would you mind giving us an overview of what those
Yeah.
uncorrelated strategies are?
So all of them are uncorrelated. When it comes to like they're not gonna take the same pair that the other one is taking, right? As far as being diversified between asset classes, they have Forex, which is most of the accounts. They have one that's the US dollar to the gold, which is one particular account. And then we have the crypto algorithms.
I would
So three
imagine
asset classes.
I would imagine the crypto is the most volatile.
Yes, yes.
Gotcha. And when for the Forex and the gold, when you're saying they're uncorrelated, so it's an asset class, just help me understand if you don't mind. So within the asset class of Forex, there's different uncorrelated strategies within Forex.
Correct, because for the gold, it's the US dollar to the gold. That's the only pair. US dollar to gold. That's all it trades. On the Forex side, I mentioned an algorithm called Alpha. I mentioned one called Gamma. We have plenty more, but they all trade different pairs. And by pairs, I mean it can be the US dollar to the euro. It could be the Australian dollar to, the Canadian dollar, right? There's just many different pairs within those assets. However, none of those, like for example, the alpha and the gamma, if they both take the US dollar to the euro, it won't be that exact trade, right? It's the same pair, but they're not taking the same thing. So if one loses, the other one doesn't necessarily lose. And if one wins, the other doesn't necessarily win as well. They're uncorrelated.
Okay, and how is that? Is it because they're not in the same trade?
Exactly. It's the trade that it takes.
The
Yeah.
trade itself.
The trade itself.
You could
Yeah.
have two trades simultaneously going,
Correct. Which happens a lot.
but then wouldn't have the same result?
No, because one trade could be, okay, I want to open this trade at 3 p.m., 3:15 my time, which is Eastern, right? And I want to do it for the US dollar to the euro. And I want it to be that it closes out when the US dollar has the 98.7 market cap. right?
Gotcha.
That's on the DXY right now. I think right now it's like a 97 point something, right? Maybe I want to close it out at 98. Then you have another pair that's like much less than that, and you want to close it out within like 4 hours, right? Then you have multiple pairs that, the totality of it was the one that's going to get you the gains. Because a lot of those will be losers as well. It just always goes like this.
Gotcha. And so it's not like stock in like your stock brokerage account where you could have maybe a tax loss harvesting where you sell some areas to offset the gains on the other. That's a completely different thing. That's not what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's called hedging. Uh,
Hedging.
yeah, you don't necessarily need to do that. Although there may be some rare cases, I haven't experienced it, but I've seen like in the industry where, you got yourself in a pickle and now you got to get out of it. So they use that strategy, but that's not common.
Gotcha. And there is no way a trader or anybody can get access to the funds. They're just trading on your behalf, but there's no way they can liquidate your fund. We are the only ones that can uh, deposit and withdraw the money.
That's
There's
correct.
no way around it.
That's correct. So it's a two-part process. You're first depositing into your brokerage account, and once it's in your brokerage account, then you're allocating it to the different PAM accounts you have available. Because it's in a PAM account, they don't have access to actually withdraw, deposit, or mess around with your funds other than actually executing trades there.
And what is the PAM account again?
It stands for percentage allocation money module. It's
Gotcha.
a way for them to trade for you without actually having access to your account.
Got it. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you. You guys are very thorough. I'm extremely interested. So appreciate the information.
You're very welcome, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See, we still have Chris McCall and Steven. Any questions for you guys? And an iPhone 4.
Yeah, this is Steve. I'm sorry, I've been juggling too many things. I saw the link to put a $500 deposit down, but I didn't catch what that's for.
Yeah, so that will be for two things. I'm not sure if you were able to ask your questions to Aaron or if all your
I
questions were
did.
answered. But with some cases, some clients don't want to really, there's some questions they don't want to answer or ask in public, right? In a public setting. So
Okay.
that would allow you a one-on-one call with Aaron to talk about more personal things. It will also open the door for bonuses that were explained during the call. For example, if you're getting the platinum package or you're thinking about getting the platinum package, those are all 80/20 profit share accounts. But they will throw in as a bonus access to 90/10 profit share accounts. That those are only found on the diamond package, for example. That will be one of the bonus for the platinum. A bonus for the diamond, I believe that you're getting like the gold account, the gold algorithm that's usually sold a la carte. So that will be thrown in there as a bonus. And anything else that Aaron mentioned on the call.
Is that separate from what the salesperson I've been talking to has offered? Or is
Yeah,
that basically
I
the
don't think
same
they
thing?
have the same. I don't think they have the same bonuses, so it's probably different unless they did say that you're gonna get 90/10 if you get the platinum, because that's what the bonus was for the call.
Oh, so we're not sure if it's cumulative with whatever the best offer we've received.
Yeah, I don't think the sales guys have access to that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I
Um,
don't I don't know the call, so I don't know if that's what he.
yeah, I totally get that. It's hard for you to say. And the if I was to take advantage of those bonuses that you're talking about, that would be the cost would be $500. Is that what the deal is, or is it?
No, the it's a fully refundable deposit and it's also included towards your package price. So
Okay.
we're thinking of, joining at all. I would just do that. That way you get the bonuses and then that's actually counts towards the package that you're gonna get. And if you end up not getting a package, then you just get it refunded.
Oh, so if I decide not to join or if I basically for any reason I can get my $500 back.
Exactly. If you don't decide to
Okay.
join, you just give you the funny back. We don't need
I
that.
I get it. Okay.
If you do decide to move forward, then you have extra bonuses you wouldn't have otherwise. So I don't see a losing situation there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
For sure. Chris, did you have a question or person?
No, I think I'm good. I've just been beneficial to hear other people's questions, and I asked a couple earlier, so I think I'm good.
All right, sounds good. I just do my last check for iPhone. Sorry, there's no name there. It just says iPhone. And you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that.
There
I
you
was
go.
listening the entire time. No, it's pretty straightforward. The $500 to lock in the 90-10 split. No, everything seems pretty straightforward.
All right, sounds good. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys, every one of you that decide to join. I actually look over the fulfillment side of the program itself. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me and my team as well. We'll be guiding you moving forward from that point. Okay. And that's all going to be through a Slack channel. All right, which will give you access to it once you get onboarded. But if there's any other questions, it's a pleasure meeting you guys all and speaking to you briefly. And I'll talk to you soon.